G'day everyone and welcome back to the channel. In this episode of LEGO Investment Review, we are taking a look at the Hogwarts First Flying Lesson. Let's review it. So this is the set we will be reviewing today, is Hogwarts First Flying Lesson, set number 76395, 264 pieces, 4 minifigs, and in Australia this set does release for $50. In the US it retails for $30, and in the UK it does retail for £25. Like all reviews, we're going to be breaking down some individual signs on the set and discover whether or not we think it will be a good investment or not. So we are going to start off with the shelf life, and we're going to go over to Brickset. So here we are here, and we can see that it was released in June of last year, 2021, and it will be retiring at the end of the year, meaning it would have had a shelf life of about a year and a half, which is pretty good. Usually sets will last about 2 years. Obviously some are different, some are less, some can last a lot shorter, some can be out for a lot longer, but given the fact it's going to be out for about a year and a half, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 for the shelf life. Now moving on, we're going to take a look at the minifigures. As you can see here, I did say that there is 4, and on here it does say that there is 4. You can kind of say 4, potentially 5, and we're going to have a look at that now. So Bricklink has marked it as 5, and that's because of this one here, the statue. Is it really a fig? It can be classed as one, it can be not, but let's go have a look at it anyway. So we are going to have a look at the Draco Malfoy fig, and this item appears in 2 sets, so it is not an exclusive, but it is only in one other set, and he is worth about $5 here in Australia. We'll go back and we'll have a look at Madam Hooch. This figure is only 1 set, so she is an exclusive, and she is about a $6.50 fig. Then we do have the Neville Longbottom. This one is, we can see that appears in 1 set and 3 books, and we can see here that this are the books that he actually does appear in, which is a bit different from what you normally see, but he is worth about $3.60. We can see that the gold Professor Quirrell, he is exclusive to this set, and he is worth about $14, $14 to $15. And then we come down to that statue, which is an exclusive, and he's about $3. So tallying all those figs up before fees or any of that stuff, it comes to around $30. And as we said, that here in Australia it does retail for $50, and the fact that the figs are worth about $30 is a very good sign, and they are pretty much all exclusive figures as well, so the figs are going to be getting a 10 out of 10 for this set. Now let's move on and talk about a little bit about the collectability of this set. Now obviously it is a part of that Harry Potter theme, and the First Flying Lesson is a part of that very first movie, being the Philosopher's Stone or the Sorcerer's Stone for whatever country you are living in. And we can see that I have filtered this for Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone Lego sets. And this means we're only going to be seeing the sets that are from this movie. So there is the First Flying Lesson here, and out of the modern sets we do have the Wizard's Chest, the Fluffy Encounter, the Great Hall, the Quidditch Match, and then the Journey to Hogwarts, which is only a very, very small set anyway. And the rest of them are actually from the early 2000s, so from the first wave of Harry Potter sets. So there was actually none released in that wave 2 when they did release a whole bunch of Harry Potter sets towards kind of like the 2010s, 2011s. So that all the Philosopher's Stone, Sorcerer's Stone Lego sets are from the first wave, or the few that they have released from the 3rd wave. So there isn't very many modern sets from this movie, which is also a good sign. And obviously it is a Harry Potter set, it is very iconic as well. I also like it because it is part of that iconic scene from the first movie as well, which is obviously the First Flying Lesson. And if we have a look at a couple of the images, there is a little bit of playability there with the bits here that you can stick the figures on the broomsticks to make them look like they're flying, etc. So I do like this set for its collectability as well, so I will be giving it a 9 out of 10 for the collectability. And now we will be moving on to the supply. So how much supply is there of this set? Obviously we want low supply and we want high demand, but we'll see how we're going. So we can see that this set is currently temporarily out of stock, and this set usually is out of stock on the Lego site as well, which is a good sign. And if we go and have a look at other retailers that do stock this set, Kmart for example here in Australia, it's currently on clearance, so they're getting rid of it at the moment, which means that probably in the next, I'm going to say, few weeks you won't be able to pick this up at least at Kmart anymore, because it is retiring and they're making way for more Lego sets that are just coming out as well. So if you are looking to invest in it in Australia, go to Kmart, you can get it for $35, which is better than 20%. But anyway, so Kmart do stock this set. A few other retailers do stock this set, but you never see that much of them. And further to this, we will go and have a look at Bricklink and see how much they have. And we can see that current items for sale, that there is total lots of 43 for a total quantity of 316, which means that there is 316 sets for sale. among 43 sellers. So you can see that 43 people are selling this set. And if we go and have a look at the supply on eBay, we can see that there is 18 results. Majority of these should be the right one anyway. There's a double pack, but about 18 on eBay, which is about that average as well. So the supply obviously isn't the lowest, but it certainly isn't the highest. There isn't a hell of a lot of them out there, but it is a smaller set, and smaller sets do tend to have more supply than larger sets. But besides that, I'm going to be giving the supply probably about a 6 out of 10. Now let's move on to the demand. So how much is this set selling? Is it selling a lot? Because obviously people want the set after it retires. If they still want the set, they're going to be willing to pay more, which means for us LEGO investors, that is a good sign. So straight away, as we touched on before, it is temporarily out of stock, and it usually is, which is a good sign. Also, we can go back to Bricklink and see how many have been sold. And there has been 62 sold in the last 6 months, which is a very, very high number. So the demand is definitely there for this set. And also, if we go and have a look at eBay, I have filtered this earlier for sold listings, there has been 17 sold. So that again is a very high number for what other sets usually do. So the demand is definitely there. And because of that, I will be giving the demand about an 8 out of 10. Now let's talk about the value on the secondary market. So how much are people willing to spend for this set if it is out of stock and on the secondary market like eBay and Bricklink, etc. Well, we're going to start off on eBay, and we can see that there was one here sold for 32 plus 15 postage, one sold here for 60 plus 10 postage. We did have one for 23 plus 12 postage, 23 plus 12, 36 plus 15, 34 plus 10. Keep scrolling down. One sold here actually for 93. For 35, for 30, so they are all over the shop. 54, 29, 38, 42. So if you probably were to average this out, it probably comes to probably around that 40 bucks, which is usually around that 20% off mark. And for eBay, you know, that is about average, I'd say. And if we go back to Bricklink, we can actually see that the average 6-month sales have been about 49, which is on smack bang pretty much on retail price for here in Australia. So the value in the secondary market, obviously it isn't as great as other sets like the classic TV series Batmobile, for example, but it is still hanging around there, probably about average, so I'll be giving it a 5 out of 10 for the value on the secondary market. Now let's just touch on the affordability of the set. Now obviously here in Australia it is a $50 set, so it certainly isn't the most expensive set, isn't the most cheapest set either, but it is obviously down there towards the cheaper end. And as I just touched on before, you can currently pick it up at Kmart for $35. So very affordable. Now usually I will give my reviews for the cheaper the set will be the higher the rating. As I said in my previous video, some people may like to switch that because obviously the cheaper the set, the more people can hoard that set. But cheaper sets will always do better and faster return on investment wise than larger sets, especially if you get this at a discount. Because if I bought this set for $35, it only has to reach that $70 mark for me to double my money. And if I was to buy a $500 set, it has to reach $1,000 for me to double my money, which is more likely to happen. This one is. That's why I like to give the cheaper sets a higher rating, and because of the affordability of this set, it will be getting a 9 out of 10. Now let's take a look at the box size of this set. How big is the box? Is it going to take up a lot of room for our storage? Is it going to cost a lot of money when we do go to post it? As we can see here, the weight is about 464 grams. The item dimensions is 35.4 by 19.1 by 5.9 centimeters, so it isn't a big box at all. Obviously, it's not the smallest like a Brickhead's, but compared to that, it's probably about yay big or so. Not big at all. So because of the box size, it will be getting an 8 out of 10. Now let's just touch on the theme itself, Harry Potter. So we touched on a few of these before. Let's go have a look how some have actually performed. So out of the retired ones, we did have the Quidditch match here, which was released in 2018. This obviously isn't 100%, this is on Brick Economy, but this is just a good way to look and get a rough kind of estimate onto how these sets are performing. So the Quidditch match is seeing roughly about an 82% growth, which is at that 80% to 100%, which is, you know, not too bad. And obviously all these older Harry Potter sets have done amazing, like 430, bloody 720, we've got 817, 345% increase in value. And I've just filtered this for all the Harry Potter sets, and we're going from descending, so newest down to oldest, and I've scrolled down until we see some that have retired, how they have been performing. That was a free gift, not going to worry about that one, but we have the Room of Requirement, which is about a 41% growth. We've got the Harry Potter Hedwig, 87%. We've got a smaller one here, it's only gone up 10% this set. The Advent Calendar, 35%. The Horntail Challenge, 30%. This is kind of getting a somewhat of a re-release, actually. It's releasing in a couple of days. We've got the Rise of Voldemort, which is a 50%. Then we've got a 25% growth. Then we scroll down. Obviously, the older the set, like the 2002s, are going to have a much higher return on investment. But we do have the Quidditch match, which is 82, which we touched on before. 56%, 12% return on investment here. 336% return on investment. The Diagon Alley, now we're going back to the kind of the phase 2 of these Harry Potter sets, and we can see that some of these older sets have gone up 220%, 213, 380, 117, 170, sorry, 212, 150%. So especially from waves 1 and 2, they have seen significant growth compared to obviously wave 3, because they've only been retired for a short time. But the theme is definitely valuable. There is some hits and there is some misses as well. So because of that, I'm going to be giving the theme an 8 out of 10. Now let's go and touch on the price per piece. So how much does an average piece in this set cost? And all we need to do to find this out is go to the trusty calculator. I'll bring this over so everyone can see. And we divide so how much does the set cost? Divide by how many pieces are in the set. And as we can see, it comes to round it up and say about 19 cents per piece. So it is more on the expensive side price per piece wise, but remember we do get those expensive figs as well. But the fact that it is a 19 cents per piece, it is going to be getting a 4 out of 10. Now following on from that, we're going to do a part out value. So if we were to buy the set, rip it open, sell those pieces individually for what they are worth, how much would we be getting? So Bricklink part out guide, I'm going to chuck in the set number, which is 76395, tick the box and ticks the extra parts, get value. And we can currently see last 6 months is 65 bucks US, and currently it is about 77. So I just like to meet in the middle, and we'll say probably about 70 bucks US. And if we do convert that, as we can see here, 70 USD to AUD is 99, so essentially 100 bucks. So it is pretty much smack bang on double would be the part out value, which is about average, so a 5 out of 10 it will be getting for that. Now I'd just like to talk about a chance of a re-release. So what is the chance that this set will get a re-release? Well, it is the first of its kind. Obviously there hasn't even been a Flying Lesson Lego set before, and I don't believe they are going to re-release it, at least in the wave 3 of Lego Harry Potter sets. Eventually, if they do a wave 4, they may. I don't think they will. I think it is a very high chance that this is going to be a one and done, the first Flying Lesson, and because of that, it is going to get a 9 out of 10. Now the final thing I just want to touch on is a comparable set performance. So a set similar to this one that I have already retired, how have they performed? I do have a few up here that we're just going to have a gaze at. We do have the recently retired, the Hogwarts Herbology class. This, according to Brick Economy, is seeing about a 91% growth. Obviously that may not be 100% accurate, but that's just kind of in the ballpark of where it's at. And then if we compare this to the Harry Potter Order of the Phoenix Rim of Requirement set, this was a $30 set, it's now sitting at about a $42 value, which means its growth is sitting at about 41%. And then if we go and have a look at the Harry Potter the Quidditch match, which we touched on before as well, this was a $50 set, sitting at about 91, which is a growth of about 82%. So because of that, I will be giving the comparable set performance about an 8 out of 10. So just quickly before we go over the scores, just my overall thoughts on this set is, especially if you get it at discount, especially at the moment, as I said, on Kmart, that's better than 20% off. I do see this set easily reaching that $70, $80 mark in the next 12 to 18 months. So if that is your target investment like me, to buy a set, hold on to it for a shorter time and double your money, this set is definitely a winner in my eyes, and I will be investing in it. But going over all the final scores, we will go on again. We had the shelf life, which was an 8 out of 10. The minifigs were a 10 out of 10. The collectability was a 9 out of 10. The supply was a 6 out of 10. Demand an 8 out of 10. The value on the secondary market was a 5 out of 10. The affordability a 9 out of 10. Box size an 8. The theme was an 8. The price per piece was a 4 out of 10. The part out was a 5 out of 10. Chance of re-release 9 out of 10. And comparable set performance was an 8 out of 10. So that brings it to an average score of about 7.46 or 7.5 if you want to round up out of 10. So definitely a very respectable score. And as I said, I will be investing in this set because I do believe, especially if you pick it up at that 35 bucks, it is going to easily be doubling to 70 bucks by the time you are ready to sell it in about 12 to 18 months. But anyway, that was my investment review of the Hogwarts First Flying Lesson. Leave your thoughts down below if you will be investing in this set and why, and if you won't be investing in this set and why. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. But anyway, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see all you beautiful people in the next video. Talk soon. Bye.